what's up everybody? Jordan from Pianote here, and we're teaching a new song on YouTube every week. This week we're learning one of the best jam songs of all time, Cissy Strut by the Meters. This is an awesome track to learn if you want to find some common ground to play with other musicians and you want to just get out and jam. This is a great track, super simple, basically consists of 2 parts plus a little solo section. So I'll teach you how to kind of jam along with each part of the song. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the key of the song. The song's in the key of C major, but it's a pentatonic-based song, so it's a total blues thing. So that means that it's going to consist basically of these notes here. It's going to consist of C. It's going to consist of E flat. It's going to consist of F, G, B flat, and C. So the main riff that starts off the song after that kung fu intro is this riff right here. So those notes really quickly is just a very simple little lick here. I'll just demo it in the right hand. So that's C, B flat, G, E flat, C. And then there's a little tag at the end, that's this here. So that is G, B flat, C. So that whole lick here. After that section, there's kind of 2 little shots that happen in the form of chords, and those chords are going to be B flat. So here's our B flat chord. I'm just playing a B flat in the bass, and then the right hand's going to play F, B flat, and D. And then that's followed by an F chord. And that F, all I'm doing in the F chord here is just playing F in root position. So we got F in the bass, then we got F, A, and C. So that whole lick in its entirety goes like this. All right, so because this song's such a jammy track, you don't necessarily have to play it all the same way each time. I'm just demoing it in versions that I most typically use. But you know, this song has been around since forever. Everybody loves to jam and improv on it. So you might want to use a riff like that as a creative license just to start messing around with some ideas of your own. You know, you could take these shots, for instance. You don't need to play them like that. Maybe you want to play your F, or maybe you want to play your B flat rather in root position. And maybe you want to play your F in an inversion form. So rather than this, you want to play. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do with a lick like that. But just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to show you this lick in these inversions along to the track so you can just learn to play it in its basic form. Yeah. All right, so that's it in its basic form at performance tempo. But if you really want to get the movements and get that feel locked down, let's slow it down to a nice slow crawl so you can get each motion nice and tight. Yeah. Okay, so that's the main kind of A riff of the section. There's an A section and a B section. So the next part is, very similar. It uses the same notes. It's just more of a vamp kind of thing. So after we do this lick here, the next section is going to sound like this. And it's going to repeat that 4 times. So it's just a 4-bar little loop consisting of basically just 3 notes, consisting of C, B flat, and G. So it's just a descending motion. So top, middle, bottom, top, middle, and then we got. So the kind of the call, or the first part of that riff is going to be just up high in the top register of your kind of octave scale range. And then you're followed by a conclusive motion that lands down on the bottom octave. So that's a super simple little lick. It's really catchy. Again, plenty of opportunity to improv on it. Sometimes, because it's just a 4 repetition little phrase, I like to even harmonize on top of it. So I might take this lick in the bottom here, and maybe the right hand, rather than just playing a unison, so that just means the same notes up high, sometimes I like to play like go up like a third, and it has a kind of another texture to it. So there's all sorts of kind of interesting stuff that you can do, provided you remember that we are working within the C pentatonic scale. There's always a good safe bet to use as options. So let's just go back. We'll play that original riff along to the track at full speed. All right, so that was the riff at full speed. Now we'll slow it down nice and slow for anyone out there just learning. All right, cool. So it's always good to contrast the fast version with the slow version. I actually find the slow version has a really cool additional quality to it. It's got this like extra kind of chill, really laid back vibe, which is always a great way to build feel as a musician, play nice and slow. So that brings us to the next section of the song, which is actually a little solo section. In the recording, we have an organ solo, and I like to jam along to this track and just sort of pretend that I'm just another member of that band trying to leave space for that soloist. So basically all I'm doing in that section, all the whole band is doing in that section to accompany that soloist, is just kind of vamping on this C7 chord. And because it's such a percussive song, and because the organ is taking such a lead, what we want to do during that solo is think less about what specific notes you're playing. Again, we're just sort of keeping ourselves within that C7 mentality. But instead think to ourselves, how do we just kind of give ourselves a locked little rhythm part that leaves enough gaps for that organ to really shine? So that might be just, you know, kind of vamping on just C7 in root position. You might want to do a little, so that's just like a little chromatic motion here. So I'm in C7, and then sometimes if I just want to kind of like pop down, I'm just vamping from my C7 chord to basically an F7 is what it turns out to be. But all I'm playing note-wise is C, E flat, and A. So it's just kind of picking small little notes that work, that aren't offensive, that aren't weirdly, accidental and outside the range of the song itself. So now I'll show you this kind of mentality in action to the organ solo at full speed. All right, so that was the solo at full speed. Now, if you're still looking for something to kind of guide your improv, listen to that guitar in the track. Listen to how it's kind of just calmly comping along and leaving plenty of space for that organ. And maybe try following along with the guitar. That's always a good kind of set of guidelines to work with. So now let's try that solo one more time, but nice and slow. All right, so that's the solo at a nice slow tempo. So that is the entirety of the song. This song is really simple to learn, but honestly, the potential for experimenting with it and improvising and jamming with it is just through the roof. The song's been around forever, but it's still a staple in jam bands and jazz groups and funk groups and all sorts. So clearly, there's something to it. So again, just in review, that initial lick, all this kind of pentatonic scale-based stuff here. And then we had those two chords. We had B flat, then we had F. And then the B section, which was even simpler. And then we finally had that little sort of C7-based organ jam that you can use to practice yourself as an accompanist. So have a ton of fun playing this song. If you want to see a full performance of me just jamming along to that track, check the link right here. If you have a suggestion for a song to teach, just leave a comment below. And yeah, happy practicing. Send me a video of you jamming along to this track. Maybe you got some creative ideas that I haven't thought of. I'm always interested to hear that. But until then, I'm Jordan at Pianote. If you want to learn anything else about the piano, check us out at pianote.com, and we'll see you all later.